Hey, to those of you who are just rolling in, and you didn't hear the news, Nikita's running a little behind. She should be here in a couple minutes. I am keeping myself muted because, again, I'm in a McDonald's and it's loud. But if you have any questions, feel free to put it in the chat. And we are here to answer them for you. Erg. Good evening again, everyone. We're still waiting on Nikita, and I'm still in a McDonald's, but let's talk about something while we're waiting. How did your assignment go? I did take a look at the workbook that Nikita posted yesterday, and I thought some of the questions were really interesting. What was something that stood out to you? You can post in the chat if you can hear me. I'm a little concerned. So it'd be great if you could post in the chat so I can confirm you can actually hear what I'm saying. I'm happy to report that I am no longer in the McDonald's. I love hearing that you guys are started working on the workbook. I know we got a little bit late. There's not a lot of time in between the workshops, but that's why we have the week in between is to you kind of start making a couple changes, little tweaks. We talk about it, and then you can continue on, and we can readdress it in the feedback loop or whatever. Um, just as a normal post if that works, or even as an email. Uh, I love that I'm seeing like some people are thinking about new Facebook group names. Bella and I were talking to an agent today about the importance of how you position your group where you don't want it to be too vague and you don't want it to be too specific. So that's really important to just find that kind of sweet spot. What are your groups about? Are you using your agency name? I know when Nikita gave the presentation, she said, try to keep it on a subject matter. I know for me, because I'm a Disney adult, I like to have it as, it's usually Disney things when I create them. So I have one for like Disney cruising with kids. I have one for, what's the other one? Oh, just like, Disney lovers. What are you thinking for your subject matter? I'm seeing a lot of good options like luxury destination honeymoon and cruiser groups. Um and then trying to figure it out. That's the hard part, Gail, is I don't want you don't want to be too broad, right? But you also don't want to trap yourself because that's what the group is supposed to be about growth and helping grow your business. And you, as an agent, you handle everything, but it's also really you may want it to reflect like your client avatar. Personally, I want it to be something that interests me, and because I want to sell things that interest me. So I want that to be reflected in my group because I'm not getting, Bella and I were talking about this. You don't get paid to do your group. It's just extra marketing work you're doing on top of all the other work you're doing. So I want to at least enjoy it. Um, oh, and you were thinking about multiple groups. Yeah, I would say no more than three. And even that is a lot to manage if you are if you're working a full-time job as a travel agent. You may be working in travel agent might be your side job right now as you're trying to build up the business, and then to add the full-time job of management, that's a lot. So I get that. um uh some of that is if you build up the groups, you could have people in there moderating for you. People love to be important. That's definitely one tool you can use, by taking your biggest fans and saying, I'm going to help you help me police this a little bit. And also when the group gets big enough, they will be your content generators. The beginning is always the hardest because you're the one seeding the content for the group. So, and then it's like you have to become this endless well of information, which feels daunting. I get that.
This is Bella, by the way, but I agree, Amber. And Amber said something in our meeting earlier today that stood out to me. She said, travel sells itself, you're selling your services. So that's something also that you guys should kind of remember, especially also, excuse my voice, it's about to be gone. I don't know what's going on, but that's also something to think about when you're looking at putting out marketing material. You know, you're selling yourself as an agent. You're not necessarily selling travel, because when someone wants a trip, they're going to book it regardless. It's just a matter of getting them to book it with you.
Absolutely. Michelle mentioned, she's like, I need to be consistent. That's probably the biggest pitfall of anything. We're struggling with consistency, even in the office. I'm not afraid to admit that one of the things that, we're really working on is, being consistent and finding a way to create consistency for staff, like the OA team, but also for agents. I think that's really important because you need to model consistency. And it's so easy to let that be the thing that you let go. I always, working out, right? Let's put it in like a different perspective. Whenever you get stressed or busy, oftentimes the first thing you stop doing is taking care of yourself, right? You stop working out, you stop doing whatever. And the same can be said for your business. It it feels like we have so much to do, and this is the thing I can let go. But then the truth is that there's consequences to that. I definitely recommend using like scheduled posting. You can schedule posts in groups. I do it all the time because they look a little weird. Not great at writing them, but they're there, and just sit down. You know, I love working in front of the TV, like at night. I'll put on. My husband can't handle it, but I will watch the same like 3 shows over and over again and just put them on in the background because I'm not really watching them, right? Somebody wants to share music with us, appreciate that person. Um, but I'll put those shows on and I'll just go to town and start kind of like writing down everything and scheduling it ahead of time. So then I don't have to worry about it. Because I've taken, and self-care is important, guys. Like, I know that's kind of people treat it like a joke, but it really is important. But I don't mind using my mindless TV time to just get my computer or my iPad. I don't like doing it from my phone, honestly, but I can do it from my computer or my iPad and just putting those in there. It really, honestly, because a lot of the subject matter like crosses over, doesn't take me that long to do like all my social posts. So I do my Instagram, I'll do my Facebook. I don't use Twitter because I hate it. Um, if I'm doing any like reels or TikToks, schedule those all in along with like group posts and photos I want to put up, and just be done with it and know it's gonna go. Because your time is precious. I know I've gotten out of it. I'm literally sitting in a McDonald's because we had book fair and gymnastics tonight. While my kids eat ice cream they definitely should not be eating. So we totally understand. Like, you're running a business. That's a big deal. Your time matters.
Right. And if you have to choose between booking clients and posting on social media, you know, we tend to prioritize.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The social media doesn't pay the bills, but the hope is the social media will pay the bills. Nikita is here.
Oh, I made it. Hi, everybody. I hope everyone's having a good evening. Oh, okay. Mad rush, you guys. We just had a massive snowstorm last night and into today. It's like still freezing rain and all sorts of things. So I did not give myself enough time by any means to get across the city after going to an appointment. So here I am, though. Your forgiveness is welcome. I apologize for being late, but let's get into it. Sounds like you guys are already talking about social media. Love it. Yes, in the evenings I lay in bed and work on Canva and scheduling. Love to hear it. Good time to just like when you have some wind down time, just kind of like do it at a leisurely pace. I'd much rather do it that way versus like, oh my gosh, it's like 2 p.m. I haven't posted today. Chaos, chaos, chaos. It's nice to kind of just take a minute, do it at a more leisurely pace. How's everybody doing this evening? Good? Good, good, good. I hope so. All right. So let's talk about that homework. There are a few things on the to-do list from Tuesday that we'll talk about. I'm just going to pop over to Google Docs. I've got Tina Turner in my head. I've been listening to like my pump up playlist all day today, and I started the day with Tina Turner. So I'm just like rolling. I need to really get in the zone here. All right. So Facebook re-engagement. We talked about setting up your Facebook page, your personal page, and switching your strategy around a little bit for more engagement on that personal side of things, because you've got your business page, which is great. We know that Facebook, Meta, the powers that be there, their priority is oftentimes now on the ad side. They want you to spend money to boost your posts, run ads. That's the name of the game now. So in order to maximize what you're getting out of social media, your personal page, your personal profile, and groups are two of the best ways to really kind of squeeze that lemon and get as much juice out of it as possible. So we talked about setting up your personal page so people know, very similar to Instagram, who you are. You've got a great little photo of yourself, a nice cover photo as well. It could be something related to travel, something, maybe a quote, maybe a favorite travel photo, something that's reflective of you and your personality. But you're also making sure that in your intro, you're introing yourself as a travel advisor, as a travel expert. And then you're linking all of your pertinent things here. Some of you have groups. So for me, my first link is my group. They always put your social media channels above it. If I had the choice, I would definitely bump my link up to my group higher than Instagram, but it is what it is. And then we also talked about your featured section, putting a few slides here that help to set the stage and give people a little bit of a perspective of who you are and what you do. And I provided you a Canva template. Now we'll go in and we'll edit that in a minute. So how did everybody do? Were you able to complete your homework for the week? Did you try it out? Did you make any tweaks to your profile? I know some of you also have groups. So we did talk a little bit about how to name your group, how to set it up a little bit, and how to make it more appealing for your ideal people that you're looking to attract to the group. So any conclusions? Did you guys, did you pick your name? I know some of you had a few you were working with. How did it go? I'm just going to pick people. I'm going to just call someone out and see what you guys think. So Shelly, tell me, were you able to fix up your profile, or were you one of, I know do you have a group, Shelly?
I do have a group. My group is friends and family. I can't even think what it is right now. Group travel for friends and family.
Got it. And are you active in there? I know someone had said that their group is a little bit quiet. They're trying to revive it. Was that you?
And mine, yeah, it's kind of quiet. Yeah.
I'm going to see if I can find it so I can creep it a little bit. So maybe it'll give you some tips on getting the re-engagement going in there. Groups are an interesting thing because when you first start them, you kind of have to be comfortable with it being a little bit of crickets until you build up the momentum and you get people talking back to you. And that does require some consistency with posting stuff daily. And stuff that people are going to want to like answer back to. So I often find that like engagement questions are a good place to start. Like, especially yours is focused more on family group trips and things like that. So are there some engagement questions that you can start asking in the group, some gifts and some things that you can start posting just to get people kind of talking back to you and feeling comfortable and okay when people don't at the beginning, because they're getting used to the group and used to being in there. Love it. Sounds like you were hard at work, Michelle. Changed your profile photo and cover picture, added Linktree and a couple social links. Haven't had a chance to really work on groups yet this weekend for sure. Love it. Do you have a name for your group, Michelle? Now I'm going to have to go and like find all of you guys on social so I can see your profiles. Let's check out the group. See if I can maybe have a look from the group directly. Members. I'm just checking out the group to see if I can find you guys and have a look at your profiles. Cruising with Out of Here Travels. Love it. Yeah, that's the thing about, is that in your group, Renee, in terms of engaging back with people? It can be tough. I mean, my group has 8,000 people, and sometimes I'm like, send help, send help. I don't know how I can keep up with it. But in the very beginning, especially when the group was just starting to grow, that was one thing I made a top priority, was responding to everybody. So everyone felt like it was a community, everyone felt heard. And as a result of that, would always come back and engage because they felt comfortable. They felt like they were heard. So in the beginning, it does take a little bit of a bit of elbow grease. I'm not sure that I see you in the group. Oh, it looks like some of you did also send me friend requests. So I'm going to confirm those now. I'm terrible at looking at my friend requests, by the way. So please don't be offended if it took me a little bit of time, because it does take me time sometimes. Sometimes I forget to look at it because it's in its own little tab. Oh, got it. Yes, great thing to do. And even your cover photo, you'll probably get some engagement for that too, as you make other changes to your profile. I don't know if I can find you, Renee. Let's see. Are we in the same? I think I did find you. Yeah, that's a great profile photo, by the way. Love it. Da, da, da. So let's talk about that Canva template, because I see that Linda, you got in there a little bit. I love to hear it, Gail. Fantastic. I filmed a few videos the other day and have been posting them each day and sharing them on my personal page as well. Yes, showing your face is truly the best way to build trust, build that credibility, and build, that relationship with people. The know, like, trust. It's really interesting how much familiarity you can build with people just from posting content of yourself. And that is what trends the highest as well. That's what's going to get the most engagement. We do have like a couple more sessions, but I'm also wondering, I know we've had some questions about showing your face on camera and showing up in Reels and creating videos. So I'll chat with the OA squad and see if maybe we can do a little bonus training on that, because Reels, they're a huge thing on Instagram. They're becoming bigger on Instagram, on Facebook. So it is a place you want to show up, but it takes a little bit of courage to get on the limb and do it. So maybe we can do a little bonus training on that, but I'll chat with the OA squad to see if we can build that in at some point before we're done. I love it. Great way to do it, Gail, by batching it out. That's what I do with my Reels. I'll set an 1.5 hour timer once a month. I kind of like make sure that as I'm going throughout the month previously, I'm looking at an inspo. What do I like? What am I seeing from other people that I may want to recreate? And then I give myself an 1.5 hours and just create it all at once, have it on the phone. So I'm never like, oh, what do I post? It's already ready to go. I love that method because you're never scrambling. You're never wondering like, what should I say today? What should I do? You always kind of have something in the background. Because I know for myself, if I was relying on myself to do it daily, it would never, ever get done, because things just get off the rails so quickly over here. I would never, ever post if I was relying on a daily schedule to do it. Yeah, you know what? It is totally foreign to most of us. I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago. You know, we didn't grow up, like I got my first phone in university. It was a BlackBerry Curve. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. It was so great. But we didn't really grow up with phones. Like we're not like Gen Z who they're used to being and seeing themselves on camera, on video, with filters, like all that stuff is still pretty foreign to us. And so it did take me time to like learn that. Now it's a habit. Now it's like a nothing really, but it took years to kind of hone that in because none of us grew up with a phone in our hand and just that expectation that we'd always kind of like be seen, right? We all remember printed photos. That's what we grew up seeing of ourselves, printed photos. And now it's like crazy to think that like there are some people who will never ever see themselves in a printed photo and only on a screen. So it does take courage. It takes some confidence, and it definitely takes a minute to give yourself, you got to give yourself some space to get comfortable with it because it is a foreign thing to us. So it's okay to feel a little bit like it is new. It's definitely new. When I first started TAC in particular, this was my first business where I was kind of required to be in the face of the business. In my previous business, I wasn't. I got to hang out behind the scenes. It was good. It was great. It was fantastic. And then of course, TAC comes around and I'd come off of 2 years of working with suppliers. And when we needed someone to be on camera, it was never me. It was always the talent. We would fly people to the destinations. We'd bring in models. We would use people locally to be in the ads and in the videos and in all the things. So I was like, okay, I can't just like hire talent now to do this. I have to be on camera, but it takes time. It takes time to get comfortable with it. I love it. And that is totally part of the process too. Gail said, I kept criticizing it and refilming it over and over again. And I still do that to this day. I love live stuff because it's like, I'm doing it. I'm in it. There's no turning back. When I have to pre-film something, it's so easy to get in the head and you're like, should I re-record that? Did I say that wrong? You get like in the spiral and then it just gets to the point. Like I get to the point where I'm like, you know what? Nope, I don't have time. We're just going to have to go with whatever the best one is. And that's a wrap on that. So absolutely. That's totally part of the journey. Yeah, totally. Overthinking is definitely a thing. Guilty of it too. And that's why I just am like, all right, I did the one take, send it to my team. Let's just get it out. Let's just get it done. And we won't stress about it too much. All right. So let's talk about that Canva template really quickly. And I figured I would give you guys that one to work with. But I do have some others. And when you guys feel comfortable and ready, I didn't want to overwhelm you because sometimes too many choices makes things more difficult. So let me pop over to Canva and we can open up that template, but I can provide you guys with a couple of other templates too, because in the highlight section of your profile, I'm just going to go back over to Facebook for a minute. In the featured section, thinking of Instagram here. But in the featured section, I like having a couple of different things here, or you can choose to use all three. Definitely an about me is good, which is kind of the one that I gave you guys. You want to talk about your services and what it's like to work with you. Maybe throw in a third one for like client love or client testimonials. So as you're engaging in those Facebook groups, remember we made a list of Facebook groups that are that your ideal client is hanging out in. So you're going to go and actively engage in those groups. And you want for people to start seeing you as a trusted travel expert in those groups or as a trusted expert in general. But as you get active in those groups, people are going to click on your profile. They are going to come and see your profile and they're going to get curious about who you are and what you do. So you want it to be front and center that you're a travel expert. And if you have a niche, you want to state that. You want to make sure that that's obvious. And then this is your personal profile. So you don't need to be like buttoned up. You can have a little bit of fun. You can talk about yourself more casually and more conversationally. Make it seem like a fun party. When people come over from the groups you're engaging in and they find your profile, you want them to know and start recognizing, oh, this person's a travel expert, or, oh, they specialize in cruises. They can book trips to Europe. You want to start building that familiarity for what you do because they're going to remember you in 2 months or 3 months when they're ready to start planning, or they're going to have you as someone they can refer to others when they're in conversation. This is also why I really love community focused groups for places that you're in. Because if you can become the honeymoon expert of your city, your town, wherever you live, that's a huge opportunity for referrals. It's a great opportunity to like sort of brand yourself locally. So I love local groups. And I think we poked into a couple of groups in like Seattle, I think in Atlanta, as we were doing our little recon on Tuesday. But I highly recommend getting involved and start actively posting into your local groups. And what I love about that is then you can share things from your own experiences that you're having day to day. The great cocktail bar you went to, the place you discovered for on date night with the hubby, or place the cool book club you just joined. It gives you an opportunity to engage with people on a different level and a level of familiarity that you can't build as quickly with somebody who's a complete stranger who you've never met, who doesn't live in your town, your city. So I love leveraging the local area and then growing your business out from there. You don't need to serve only the people in your local area forever, but if you're especially getting started and hitting your stride, or you want to explore and grow your niche and expand out, your local area is a great place to start, because social media honestly makes it so easy for you to find people in that area. Love it. I love it. Alicia said, I joined a couple of bride groups and I've already had engagement. I love it. And so when those people click on your profile, you want them to come over and know that like, okay, Alicia specializes in honeymoons. She can book that for me. So you want to build that familiarity with people like that. So I would totally set it up with a beautiful profile photo of you, maybe a cute little like couple or a favorite love quote or something. If that's specifically your niche, go big or go home, and make sure your profile is a little bit more tailored to that niche. And then in the featured section, I would throw in an about me, maybe a section on like planning your honeymoon, what the steps are to plan with you, and then like a client testimonial section. So let's go over to Canva. And I will provide you guys with the other two templates. As soon as you let me know, thumbs up on being done with this one, I'll provide you with a bunch of others. But again, I didn't want to make it so overwhelming. Sometimes it's hard to get stuff done when you sit in the indecision and you're like, well, where do I start? Which one do I do first? So this one's a good little intro one for your featured. It's a quick little, hey, this is who I am. So I would switch this up a little bit. Obviously, you want to put your own photo here and something that's reflective of your niche. So if I am Alicia and I specialize in honeymoons or romance travel, Linda says, bring the other options on. I like options. Okay. All right. Your wish is my command. I will share those other options for you guys in the group. Yeah. So if I were customizing this I'm going to put my glasses on for honeymoons, I would, of course, I'd put my lovely face here. Let's see. I try to put things in folders, but as best as I can, don't always get to do it. Let me just search my folder of my images, but this is how I would customize it to fit. Okay, let's go to Nikita's headshots. Okay, those photos are a little bit older, so let's find ones that are a little bit of a better. I'm not looking at any of those. Here we go. I'm sure there's one in here. There we go. From shorter hair days, but it'll work. So I'd probably put like, if I am dealing with brides, especially, they're a fun crew. They're going to be like Gen Z, millennial age, like they're probably like 25 to 40. And so that's a specific type of client. They're going to be a little bit more fun. They're sipping wine at the end of the week. They like to go out with their girlfriends and have a girls' night and drink cocktails and all that stuff. So I would spice this up for that specific ideal client. So I'm going to drag and drop my own image of myself here. I want to show my face a little bit more. So we're going to, it's a little bit bigger. Okay, or not. There we go. Sorry. My computer's moving a little bit slow. So I need to be a little bit more patient with it here. There we go. I would put a little about who you are. I am a face. Based in New York City or wherever it is that you live, Alicia. for anyone else. I'm gonna have some typos here because I might have too many tabs open. That might be the thing that's happening here. So I'm gonna just close some stuff because my computer's moving at snail's pace. That's probably gonna help the situation a little bit. I'm a honeymoon expert. You know what? Let's start this over. There we go. That did the trick. Closing the 500 tabs I had open. Surprise, surprise. Magically, we're back in business. Based in New York City. I helped future brides and grooms plan their dream honeymoon. Dream post wedding adventures, something like that. Whatever you feel is fitting for what you do. And you throw your website here. Somebody want to ask a question? I think I may have heard someone. Feel free to chime in at any time. I see some great questions. I'll just show you how I would customize this really quickly, and then I'll answer those. So I just do a little intro slide. The second one dives a little bit deeper. I plan to the Caribbean or wherever it is that you plan them. And then I just go into, what does that mean? What does that mean? Or how does it work? You can answer a question here. How does it work? And you go into, we meet together, have a call to chat about your honeymoon needs. I curate, we make tweaks as needed, and off you go on your amazing honeymoon trip. So I would just answer a little bit, give a little bit more about what you do or how to work with you or what your services are like. And then you can give a little breakdown here. I plan your excursions and your experiences. I book your accommodations. I worry about your flights and your airport transfers. A little bit of a breakdown of what you do. And then the last one is a call to action. So let's start planning. I would make sure that I'm also swapping out any of these images for images that are better reflective of the niche. So I think I do have a, do I have a honeymoon folder? Let's find out. I do have a honeymoon folder. Great. So I would just drop some more images in here that are better suited for the niche. Or for the destinations that you specialize in. If you specialize in safaris or something else, of course, you want to make sure that the imagery is reflective of that. All right, so that's how I'd customize this. I am going to give you guys more options because I see that we have asked for more options. So that is what I will do. Super private person. And normally don't post on my personal page. I've always said that Facebook is brag book, and that is totally not me. How do I start posting on my personal page where it doesn't all of a sudden look like I'm posting for business? So we talked a little bit about, I will check out your page as well while we're chatting here. We talked a little bit on Tuesday about how, you don't want to just show up to you on your personal profile and only sell. You definitely want to keep it more value focused and affinity focused. So content that's going to build connections with people. So you want to ask questions. You want to share what your travel experiences are. Talk about that. Talk about things from that standpoint. And then, of course, you can definitely sprinkle in some content that's maybe directly from your business page that is a little bit more salesy or a little bit more promotional focused. But definitely on that personal profile, you don't want to be just screaming business. But I would definitely share your client experiences and client wins. I would share any tips or tricks that you have, any connection focused content. So for example, go over to the collective for a second. Just going to share that. So when you pop into the collective, anything that you see in the connection section of the captions, that will definitely work for your personal page. Anything, even in travel inspiration, will work too, or some of the National Day stuff that's a little bit more fun. And some of the authority and trust content and value content will work as well. So you want to pick and choose, but definitely keep it a little lighter, a little bit more open, because yeah, you're right. You absolutely, the way to win is a little bit contradictory because you think that you should only be promoting all the time, but on social media, it is very much a social platform. So your ideal people, your clients, your potential clients are there for much more than just promoting. They're there to talk about their kids. They're there to talk about their grandkids, brag about accomplishments that their kids and their grandkids have had. They're there to talk about their family vacations and to share things that they're doing and share what they're interested in. So you want to meet them on that level a little bit more. So the connection focused content is a great place to start for what to post. So you're kind of like being mindful of that. I will definitely check out your personal or your business page in a minute. I think I did open it. So I can give you feedback on this. Happy to. Would you post these for pages as a reel? Can you rephrase that for me, Sandra? Oh, I got it. You mean in the Canva. I follow. Let's go back to it. You could absolutely repurpose this as a reel. That's a great idea. In fact, what you would need to do that is, let's see here. I think if we add a animation to if we animate any of the slides, it will automatically turn it into it will also automatically give us a lovely little timer. So I would just time each of these pages. Maybe 5 seconds is a little long, but you could get away with 3 seconds. And then I would apply it to all the pages. And then now you do absolutely have a reel. Now you've got yourself a pretty snazzy reel. So yeah, I'm big on repurposing things. Absolutely. If you want to do that, I would just add a little animation to each of the slides. So it kind of gives a little bit of movement to it. I would animate it and I would only do it on enter. So I would switch that around. I'll share this template with you guys in a minute once I've animated it to make it easy for anybody who wants to share it as a reel. But you could definitely do that. You could share it as a reel, or you would download it each as an individual slide so that when you go over to Facebook and you add it to edit featured and you add new, you would upload each of the slides to your featured. So why don't we just do that together here? I'll do that right now. I'm going to download it from Canva. This was the intended purpose of it, but by all means, like I said, you can do whatever you want and whatever serves you best. So I'm just going to undo that because I don't want it to be one long video. And I don't want to download them individually either. Okay, there we go. So we're just doing a little test run here. They don't need to be done. So I'm going to download them as PNGs, which is the intended purpose. But again, feel free to repurpose this in any way that's going to like serve you best. Right, so that's downloaded. So I go over to my featured section. I'll just do this from the beginning again, so you guys have a nice clear step by step. I'm going to click on edit featured, add new, and then I'm going to upload those same slides that I just created in Canva and I customized. Obviously, you're going to customize them all the way through. You can also use these as Instagram stories. So I would call this like about me. I would do like how to plan a honeymoon with me or client love. Yeah, you can absolutely post on TikTok with an audio or a track that you like. So now when people are ready to see this, all they have to do is click into it and then they can see each slide step by step. That's how that's supposed to work. But I just showed you a way to also repurpose it. If you would like to do that as a reel or a TikTok video or a Facebook reel or an Instagram reel, whatever serve you best. If you download it, like I just showed you in the featured section, you can also post that to Instagram or Facebook stories as well. And then I mean, this is like a totally different topic for another day, but you can also use it as your part of your highlights for your Instagram stories. I think we talked about it when we did the general Facebook training a few weeks ago, or Instagram training a few weeks ago, making sure that you have highlights on your profile that speak about what you do and how to work with you. All right. Anybody else need support or have any questions? I'm all yours. I'm all yours. I definitely, you know what, like TikTok is, I know how to do it. But if I'm being honest with you, my team will tell you, I have very stubbornly been not as active on TikTok. I don't love it. I don't love it as a platform, if I'm being honest with you. But that being said, though, it is a great place to be. It is what Facebook was 10 years ago. You get lots of reach. You have lots of opportunities to find and engage with people who are ideal clients. So TikTok is great for that. I am not as into it, if I'm being brutally honest with you, but it works. It's a great tool. If you have questions while working on anything, you could tag me in the group. Just give me a direct tag. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I don't love it. I don't love it. I wish I did. But I don't. That being said, though, I will never discount the fact that it is incredibly valuable. It is the largest search engine in the world right now. That is above Google, which is crazy bonkers to think about, but that's where people are going and typing in their interests to find stuff. So it's good for you to be there. Absolutely good for you to be there. You can definitely start wetting your feet by taking some of the things that you're already posting on Instagram and repurposing them. So you guys should now have access to the collective, and there's tons of reels in there that are available to you that you can download and start posting on TikTok to test the waters, to see whether you like it, whether it's a place you want to be. I'm not a huge fan of the TikTok community, but I think also it's because that I don't spend enough time on there. So right now, anytime I go on, my algorithm is just so strange. I pop in there and I'm like, what am I looking at? It's the weirdest thing. So I think I probably do need to dedicate a little bit more time to it to let the algorithm sort of like get used to me and what I actually like and what I'm actually willing to engage with. I need my 22-year-old to show me how to use hashtags on TikTok. I need your 22-year-old to show me how to use TikTok too. I do know how to use it. And yes, it is what it is. Listen, part of social media is also picking where it's understanding the trends, understanding what will serve you and picking what's going to serve you best, but also what you actually will enjoy doing. And right now I don't enjoy TikTok, and I've just come to terms with it. And my team and I, we just come to terms with it. They repurpose my content on there. They're active. They're a little bit more active than me on there, but right now I'm just not into it. I've heard a burning question about getting the phone to ring for destination wedding consults, and we're wondering where the disconnect is. Is it in the social media posting, my group engagements, website, landing page? Okay, Linda, that's a lot of things. And I'm happy to go over all of those things with you. So let me drop my email, because I would love links to your website, your landing page, your group, all of it. Let's have a look and kind of see where the disconnect is happening. So let me give you my email. It's Nikita@TravelAgentCollective.com, but I'll type it in for you as well. Do you suggest Pinterest? I absolutely do. Pinterest requires a little bit of a different strategy. So let's talk about that for a second. So Pinterest is definitely, it's great for inspo, especially if you are a destination wedding, honeymoons. I mean, basically any type of travel. That's where a lot of people go for their inspiration, but it requires a really good content strategy to be effective. So you want to take people and send them to somewhere where they're going to consume more content. You can absolutely start small. If you have a landing page and if you have a lead magnet, you definitely want to start actively posting that on Pinterest. If you have a blog, 100% you have to be on Pinterest. Now, the key with Pinterest is being very active. So one of the things you want to do is you want to post especially if you only have one lead magnet, you want to post it multiple times a week with different covers and with different language, different hashtags and things like that. It does take time to pick up the momentum with Canva or with Pinterest, I'll say that, but it requires a good content strategy because that's what people are on there for. They're there for inspo. They're also there for consumption of content. Information and value is a big thing there. Value education. So if you have a blog, that's a great place to start sending people on Pinterest. Now you have like idea pins and things like that too. So you could absolutely also take what I just did for you and showed you on Canva. You could take that and post that over on Pinterest too. But it's not a one and done. Pinterest is a platform that, just like all the others, you have to be consistent. So you need a good content strategy for it. But you can 100% take these reels and post them as idea pins. You could take this Canva template, and it's got the flip through, just like I showed you on the featured section on Facebook. You can post it as an idea pin. So I do recommend Pinterest, but you want to make sure that you have a very clear place for people to go to, whether that is your landing page to opt into your lead magnet. Maybe you're posting one of these awesome reels, but as a conversion, as a click through, you're taking them to your inquiry form to fill out an inquiry to start planning, or to your Calendly link to start planning with you. But you do want to be mindful that you have a place to send people to get the conversion on Pinterest. You don't want them to just be inspired by your stuff, but never actually do anything. So hashtags, great little hack that I can give you right now. Number one is when you start composing content in the collective, which you should all have access to by now, or maybe there might be a couple of you still waiting. My team is definitely going to be in touch with you, but we have suggested hashtags in here. So you can come on in, go to suggested hashtags. It's going to open up this beautiful gallery, this beautiful Airtable gallery for you that has all sorts of hashtags for different niches and different categories. You can download it as a CSV, so I highly recommend doing that. So you kind of have it and access to it anywhere. So I download the CSV, I would put that in whatever your like notes taking app is, either Notes or Google Docs or Evernote. So you have these hashtags ready to go at any time. So if you need to post on TikTok, you need to post on Pinterest, Instagram, wherever, you have hashtags that are ready to go. So that's a quick little hack for you. But Linda, let's figure out where the disconnect is, because this is a great question overall. You absolutely want to take a bird's eye view of what you're doing on social media and across the internet. What's your website like? What are you using for your landing page? What are the different touch points? And so sometimes it takes assessing and figuring out what is missing, or what do I need to tweak? Oftentimes it's not a one and done. It's actually never been for me where I'm like, I finish a marketing piece and I'm like, okay, the people will come. It oftentimes does take a little tweak here, a little tweak there, changing the language here and there to figure out what's going to work. And that does definitely take a little bit of time to do. My favorite note-taking app is just the Notes app on an iPhone. I like it. It's just easy. It's there. I like that, remotely I can access it anywhere. Second best would be Google Docs, because I use the tool so much. I do have Evernote as well. Forever on the free plan. Poor Evernote. I've never paid for it, but I like the Notes app, the note-taking app on the iPhone, and then Google Docs would be my second best. But if you want to level things up, because I know the one thing that I will say that I don't like about using the Notes app is that it's just like, then sometimes I have so many notes that I get overwhelmed. So you could use a Trello board or an Airtable or another app that you use as your daily task management. I like Trello because what you can also do is you can create a board that has different sections with different notes. So some of our advisors in the collective we did a session on Trello earlier this week, actually. And what they'll do is they'll set up a board. So anytime they need to take notes on something specific, like a supplier or a destination, it has a card in Trello for it. So it's centralized. So when they're looking for it, they know they need to just go to one place to find out all the notes that they have about Blue Diamond Resorts, or I'm trying to think, Four Seasons or whatever. So that's one way to potentially use Trello. Love it. Trello's the best. It really is the best. So you can set it up for each of your clients even. So maybe you want to take notes on each client when you have a consult with them. And you want to make sure you're keeping track of their likes, their dislikes, the type of travel they want, the trips that they've been on already, and things like that. Trello is a great way to do that. You could create a board. Each client has their own card and you can make notes for each client. Sounds like Linda's using it. Each client gets their own board to keep them organized. So I love that. So you probably like take them through the full process, right? Trello is the best and it's free. It is probably one of the best free tools out there ever. Love it. Yeah. And I love that it's just so easy and clean. You just move people along the process. Okay, well, I'm here to support you guys. So Linda or anybody else, really, I dropped my email. I think, did I do that publicly or did I? Yes, I did post that to everyone. If you have any questions and you want some direct feedback, that's my personal or my business personal email, or you can tag me in the group, but definitely send me all the things, Linda, so we can have a look holistically at everything that you're doing, kind of like see where we might be missing. So your challenge is you're just not getting enough consults from brides. The good news about your niche is that your brides, they are social media people to a T. So we just need to figure out where they're hanging out and tweak some of the things to get their attention more. Maybe it's content, it could be the landing page, but I'm pretty confident that once I see everything that you're putting out there, we can kind of figure out what needs to be tweaked, because you have the social media audience of all social media audiences, because you got women who are primarily the ones who are on Pinterest and on Instagram. And then of course you have that sweet demographic of people who are like, 25 to 40. So they're very much social media people. Love it. All right, everybody. I think that's a wrap for our call today. If you have any questions, again, email me, tag me directly in the group. I'm here to support you. I will drop more Canva templates in the group for you. And you guys know where to find me. Have a great evening, everyone. And I'll see you in a couple of weeks, but let me just get the dates just to make sure I don't get them wrong, which that's a thing that happens. Is it next week? I'm just going to double check before I share incorrect information. Yes. So I'm going to see you on Tuesday the 7th at 2 p.m. And we're going to be talking about lead gen, nurturing, and communication sequencing. So make sure you dust out your, if you haven't opened up your email service provider recently, if you haven't logged into MailChimp or MailerLite or whichever one you're using recently, we're going to talk about how to activate your audience through there. So I'm going to bridge the gap for you. We'll talk about if you don't have an ESP, how to set that up, all those things, what kind of communication you want to be sending out through there. And then of course, how you bridge the gap and start building your list from social media as well. All right, everybody, have a great evening. Happy posting, and I'll catch you guys later.